Most people think liver problems only happen to people who drink too much alcohol, but the truth is far more surprising, and honestly, a little scary. Your liver can start struggling quietly for years without causing pain, without sending obvious signals, and without you realizing anything is wrong. By the time clear symptoms appear, the damage may already be serious. What makes this even more dangerous is that the early warning signs are things most people ignore every day. Feeling tired, strange changes in your skin, problems with digestion, even small changes in your mood can all be your liver asking for help. In today's video, I'm going to explain 7 early warning signs that your liver may be struggling. And these are signs I see all the time in real patients who had no idea their liver was under stress. If you notice even one of these signs, it doesn't mean you have liver disease, but it does mean your body is trying to tell you something, and the sooner you understand these signals, the easier it is to protect your health before real damage happens. The first early warning sign your liver may be struggling is constant fatigue that doesn't go away, no matter how much rest you get. Now, everyone feels tired sometimes, especially with busy schedules, stress, or poor sleep. But liver-related fatigue feels different. People often describe it as a heavy, drained feeling that stays with them all day. You wake up tired, you feel low energy in the afternoon, and even small tasks feel harder than they should. The reason this happens is because your liver plays a major role in energy production. It helps process nutrients from the food you eat, stores glycogen for energy, and removes toxins from your blood. When the liver is under stress, toxins can start building up, and your body has to work harder to function normally. That extra workload can make you feel exhausted even if you slept well. Many people think they just need more caffeine, more sugar, or more rest. But the real issue may be that the liver is not doing its job efficiently. Another early sign people often ignore is frequent bloating or discomfort in the upper right side of the abdomen. The liver sits on the right side of your body, just under the rib cage, and when it becomes inflamed or enlarged, you may feel a dull pressure or fullness in that area. It is not always sharp pain. In fact, most of the time it feels like mild discomfort, heaviness after eating, or a feeling that your stomach is always full. This can happen because the liver helps produce bile, which is needed to digest fats. When bile flow is not working properly, digestion slows down, and this can lead to gas, bloating, and nausea. Many people blame their diet, thinking they just ate something bad. But if this feeling keeps happening again and again, your liver could be under stress. The third warning sign that your liver may be struggling is changes in your skin, especially itching or unusual dryness. This is one of the signs people almost never connect to liver health, but it is actually very common. When the liver cannot properly filter waste products from the blood, certain substances can build up and irritate the skin. This can cause itching that has no obvious rash, no allergy, and no clear reason. Some people also notice their skin becomes more sensitive, dry, or irritated than usual. In more advanced cases, the skin or the whites of the eyes may start to look slightly yellow, a condition called jaundice. But long before that happens, small skin changes can appear. The problem is that most people treat the skin symptom and never think about the organ inside the body that could be causing. Another early warning sign is unexplained weight gain, especially around the belly. Many people assume weight gain is only about eating too much or not exercising enough. But the liver plays a huge role in metabolism and fat processing. When the liver becomes overloaded, fat can start building up inside the liver itself, a condition known as fatty liver. This can slow down how your body burns calories and processes sugar, making it easier to gain weight, even if your habits have not changed much. People often tell me they feel like their metabolism suddenly became slower, and sometimes the liver is part of the reason. The dangerous part is that fatty liver disease can develop without pain, without obvious symptoms, and without people realizing anything is wrong until it becomes more serious. The fifth early sign your liver may be struggling is frequent headaches or brain fog. This might sound strange, but the liver and the brain are more connected than most people realize. One of the liver's main jobs is to remove toxins from the bloodstream. When the liver is not working efficiently, those toxins can circulate longer in the body and may affect how the brain functions. People may notice trouble concentrating, forgetfulness, irritability, or feeling mentally slow. Some describe it as feeling like their head is cloudy or heavy. This does not mean every headache is caused by the liver, but if brain fog happens together with fatigue, digestive problems, or skin changes, It could be a sign the liver is under stress. Another warning sign is changes in urine or stool color. Your liver helps produce bile, which gives stool its normal brown color. When bile flow is reduced, stool may become pale, light, or grayish. Urine, on the other hand, may become darker than usual, even if you are drinking enough water. These changes happen because waste products that should leave the body through bile start leaving through the kidneys instead. Many people notice these changes but assume it is dehydration or something they ate. If it happens once, it may not be serious, but if it keeps happening, it should not be ignored. The seventh early warning sign your liver may be struggling is increased sensitivity to alcohol, fatty foods, or medications. People sometimes notice that drinks affect them more than before, or that certain foods suddenly cause nausea, heaviness, or discomfort. The liver is responsible for breaking down alcohol, processing fats, and handling many medications. When it becomes overloaded, even normal amounts can feel too much for the body. This is one of the ways the body tries to protect itself, by making you feel uncomfortable when the liver cannot keep up with the work. What makes liver problems tricky is that the liver is very strong and very patient. It can keep working even when it is under stress, and that is why early warning signs are often mild. But those mild signs are not meaningless. They are the body's way of asking you to pay attention before real damage happens. In my experience, people who notice these signals early and make changes in their lifestyle often recover completely, while those who ignore them may not realize something is wrong until the condition becomes much harder to treat. And there is one more thing most people don't know about the liver, and this next warning sign surprises almost everyone when they hear it, because it has nothing to do with pain, digestion, or skin, but it can be one of the clearest signals that your liver is under stress. And this next warning sign surprises almost everyone when they hear it, because it has nothing to do with pain, digestion, or skin, but it can be one of the clearest signals that your liver is under stress, and that is sudden changes in your mood, patience, or emotional stability. Many people do not realize that the liver plays a role in balancing hormones and filtering chemicals that affect the brain. When the liver is not working properly, certain toxins can stay in the bloodstream longer, and these toxins can affect the nervous system. This can make you feel more irritable, more anxious, or unusually low in motivation. Some people say they feel angry more easily, others feel down for no clear reason, and some just feel like their personality has changed slightly. Because stress is so common in daily life, most people blame work, lack of sleep, or personal problems. But sometimes the body itself is part of the reason. When the liver cannot keep the internal environment balanced, the brain feels it. Another early warning sign your liver may be struggling is frequent nausea, especially after eating fatty or heavy meals. The liver produces bile, which helps break down fats so your body can digest them properly. When bile production slows down or becomes unbalanced, fat digestion becomes harder. This can make you feel sick after meals, even if the food is not spoiled or unhealthy. Some people notice they feel full very quickly. Others feel like food just sits in their stomach for too long. Over time, this can make you avoid certain foods without knowing why. The important thing to understand is that this is not always a stomach problem. Many people take medicines for acidity or indigestion, but the real issue may be that the liver is not supporting digestion the way it should. One more sign that often appears early is bad breath that does not go away even with brushing or mouthwash. This might sound surprising, but persistent bad breath can sometimes be linked to liver stress. When toxins are not removed properly from the blood, they can affect the smell of the breath. Some people describe it as a strong, slightly sweet or musty odor that keeps coming back. Of course, bad breath can have many causes, including dental problems. But when it happens together with fatigue, bloating, or skin changes, the liver should also be considered. Some people also notice that small cuts or bruises take longer to heal than before. The liver produces proteins that help with blood clotting and tissue repair. When the liver is under stress, the production of these proteins can slow down. This means your body may not recover as quickly from minor injuries. You may see bruises appear easily, or you may notice that a small wound takes longer than usual to close. These changes are usually mild in the beginning, which is why people ignore them, but they can be an early signal that the liver is not functioning at full strength. Another warning sign that many people overlook is swelling in the feet, ankles, or lower legs. This can happen when the liver is not able to properly regulate fluid balance in the body. The liver helps control proteins in the blood that keep fluid in the right place. When those proteins decrease, fluid can leak into tissues, causing swelling. In early stages, the swelling may only appear at the end of the day, especially after standing or sitting for long hours. People often think it is just fatigue or poor circulation, but in some cases, it can be related to liver stress. One of the most common early conditions doctors see today is fatty liver, and many people who have it feel completely normal at first. Fatty liver happens when too much fat builds up inside liver cells. This can happen from eating too much sugar, too many processed foods, lack of exercise, being overweight, or even from certain medications. What makes fatty liver dangerous is that it often has no strong symptoms in the beginning. A person may only feel tired, bloated, or slightly uncomfortable after meals, and they may never think their liver is involved. Over time, if the fat buildup continues, the liver can become inflamed, and that inflammation can lead to more serious damage. It is also important to understand that liver problems are not only caused by alcohol. In fact, today many people with liver issues do not drink at all. Poor diet, high sugar intake, obesity, diabetes, and long-term stress can all put pressure on the liver. Even some over-the-counter medicines, when used too often, can make the liver work harder than it should. The liver is designed to handle toxins, but it still has limits. When those limits are reached, the early warning signs start to appear, and the body hopes you will notice them before the damage becomes severe. Another thing that makes liver problems difficult to detect is that the liver has very few pain nerves. That means it usually does not hurt until it becomes enlarged or inflamed. This is why many people say they felt completely fine until a routine blood test showed abnormal liver enzymes. By that time, the liver may have been under stress for years. The good news is that the liver also has an amazing ability to heal itself when the cause of the stress is removed. Unlike many organs, the liver can regenerate, but only if the damage has not gone too far. This is why recognizing early signs is so important. Many patients are surprised when they learn that simple daily habits can affect liver health more than they thought. Drinking too many sugary drinks, eating large meals late at night, not getting enough sleep, and living with constant stress can all slow down liver function over time. The liver works hardest at night when the body is resting, so poor sleep can interfere with its ability to repair and detoxify. When this happens day after day, the liver becomes overloaded, and the early symptoms we talked about start showing up one by one. Dehydration can also make liver stress worse. The liver needs enough water to help remove waste products from the body. When you do not drink enough fluids, toxins stay in the system longer, and the liver has to work harder. This can make fatigue, headaches, and digestion problems feel stronger. Many people notice they feel better simply by improving hydration, which shows how closely the liver is connected to overall body balance. Another factor people rarely think about is the effect of too much processed food. Foods that are high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats can overload the liver because they are harder to process. When this happens regularly, the liver starts storing more fat, and this can lead to fatty liver disease. The problem is not one single meal, but the pattern over months and years. The body can handle occasional stress, but constant overload eventually shows up as symptoms. Sometimes the body gives very subtle signals, like feeling sleepy after every meal, craving sugar all the time, or feeling heavy in the morning even after sleeping enough hours. These signs may not seem serious, but they can mean the liver is struggling to keep blood sugar stable and process nutrients correctly. The liver helps control how glucose is stored and released, so when it is under stress, energy levels can go up and down quickly. This can make you feel hungry more often, tired after eating, or shaky if you skip a meal. People often ask me when they should worry about liver health, and my answer is always the same. You should pay attention when small symptoms keep repeating, especially when they appear together. One sign alone may not mean much, but several signs at the same time can be the body's way of asking for change. The earlier you listen, the easier it is to protect the liver and allow it to recover naturally. There is also one more early signal that many people never expect, and when it happens, they usually think it is just part of getting older. But in reality, it can sometimes be connected to liver function, and that sign is a noticeable drop in stamina and physical strength, even when your activity level has not changed. One more early signal that many people never expect, and when it happens, they usually think it is just part of getting older. But in reality, it can sometimes be connected to liver function, and that sign is trouble sleeping between 1 and 3 in the morning. I see this pattern very often in patients who later find out their liver is under stress. They fall asleep without much difficulty, but then they suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, usually sometime after midnight, and they find themselves fully awake around 1, 2, or 3 in the morning. Sometimes they feel restless, sometimes their mind starts racing, and sometimes they just cannot fall back asleep no matter how tired they are. Most people think this is caused by stress, anxiety, or too much screen time, and those things can play a role. But what many people do not realize is that the body follows a natural internal clock, and the liver has a specific period during the night when it is most active. During the night, your body is not only resting, it is also repairing, cleaning, and resetting itself. The liver does a large part of its detoxification work while you are asleep, especially in the early hours of the morning. This is the time when the liver processes toxins, breaks down hormones, balances blood sugar, and prepares the body for the next day. When the liver is healthy and not overloaded, this work happens quietly in the background, and you sleep through the night without noticing anything. But when the liver is under stress, this process can become more difficult, and the body may react by waking you up during the time the liver is working the hardest. Many people describe this in a very similar way. They say they go to bed feeling tired, they fall asleep normally, but then they suddenly wake up in the middle of the night without any clear reason. Sometimes they feel hot, sometimes they feel thirsty, and sometimes they feel a strange sense of alertness, even though their body is tired. They may look at the clock and notice that it is almost always between 1 and 3 in the morning. When this happens once in a while, it is usually not a problem. But when it keeps happening night after night, the body may be trying to send a signal that something inside is not balanced. One reason this can happen is because the liver is responsible for filtering toxins from the blood. During the day, your body is exposed to many different substances, including chemicals from food, medications, pollution, and even natural waste products from your own metabolism. The liver collects these substances and prepares them to be removed from the body. At night, when you are sleeping, the liver increases this cleaning activity. If the liver is overloaded, the process may not go smoothly, and this can stimulate the nervous system and make the brain more alert at the wrong time. Instead of staying in deep sleep, the body shifts into a lighter state, and you wake up. Blood sugar balance is another reason why sleep problems can appear when the liver is struggling. The liver stores glucose in the form of glycogen and releases it when the body needs energy. While you are sleeping, your brain still needs a steady supply of glucose to function properly. If the liver is not able to regulate blood sugar efficiently, your levels may drop too low during the night. When this happens, the body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol to raise blood sugar quickly. These hormones can wake you up suddenly, sometimes with a fast heartbeat or a feeling of anxiety. Many people think they had a bad dream or that something worried them, but the real cause may be the body trying to correct low blood sugar. Hormone balance also plays a role. The liver helps break down excess hormones, including estrogen, cortisol, and other chemical messengers that affect mood and sleep. When the liver cannot process these hormones efficiently, their levels may stay higher than normal. High cortisol at night can make it difficult to stay asleep, and this can cause the pattern of waking up in the early morning hours. People often notice that they feel tired during the day, but strangely alert at night, which is a sign that the body's rhythm is out of balance. Another thing I notice in people who wake up between 1 and 3 in the morning is that they often have other small symptoms that seem unrelated. They may feel bloated after meals, they may have low energy during the day, or they may notice changes in their skin. Each symptom alone may not seem important, but together they can point to liver stress. The body rarely sends only one signal. It usually gives several small hints at the same time, but because the symptoms are mild, people ignore them. Sleep quality also affects how well the liver can repair itself. When you do not get enough deep sleep, the liver has less time to complete its detoxification work. This can create a cycle where poor liver function causes poor sleep, and poor sleep makes liver function worse. Over time, this cycle can make fatigue, brain fog, and digestion problems more noticeable. Many people try to fix the problem with sleeping pills or caffeine during the day, but that does not solve the underlying issue if the liver is under stress. Eating habits can make this problem stronger. Late-night meals, especially heavy or fatty foods, force the liver to work harder when it should be focusing on repair. If you eat a large meal close to bedtime, the liver has to divide its energy between digestion and detoxification. This can overload the system and make it harder for the body to stay in deep sleep. People who snack late at night often notice that they wake up more during the night, and the liver may be part of the reason. Alcohol can have a similar effect, even in small amounts. The liver must process alcohol before it can do anything else, because alcohol is treated as a toxin by the body. If you drink in the evening, the liver spends the night breaking down alcohol instead of doing its normal repair work. This can disturb sleep and make you wake up during the early morning hours. Some people think alcohol helps them sleep because it makes them feel relaxed at first, but later in the night it can make sleep lighter and less refreshing. Stress is another factor that can overload the liver. When you are under constant stress, your body produces more cortisol and other stress hormones. The liver has to break down these hormones after they are used. If stress happens every day, the liver has more work to do, and this can slow down other processes. This is why people who live with long-term stress often have trouble sleeping at the same time every night. The body stays in a more alert state, and the liver has difficulty keeping everything balanced. Dehydration can also make night waking more common. The liver needs enough water to help remove waste from the body. If you do not drink enough fluids during the day, toxins may stay in the bloodstream longer, and the liver has to work harder at night. This extra effort can make the nervous system more active and can lead to lighter sleep. Some people notice they wake up feeling thirsty around the same time every night, which may be a sign that the body needs better hydration. Another thing that affects the liver more than people realize is too much sugar. When you eat a lot of sugar or refined carbohydrates, the liver converts the extra glucose into fat. Over time, this fat can build up inside liver cells. This makes the liver less efficient and can interfere with blood sugar control during the night. When blood sugar goes up and down too quickly, the body may wake up as it tries to keep levels stable. People who often crave sweets or feel sleepy after eating sometimes notice that they also wake up during the early morning hours. Lack of physical activity can also slow liver function. Movement helps the body use energy and improves circulation, which makes it easier for the liver to process nutrients and remove waste. When you sit for long periods and do not exercise regularly, the liver may store more fat and become less efficient. This does not happen overnight, but over time it can contribute to the pattern of fatigue during the day and restless sleep at night. Some people also notice that when they improve their lifestyle, their sleep pattern changes before anything else. They start going to bed at the same time, eating lighter dinners, drinking more water, and reducing sugar. And after a few weeks, they realize they are no longer waking up between 1 and 3 in the morning. This is often a sign that the liver is no longer under as much stress, and the body's internal clock is becoming more balanced again. It is important to understand that waking up at night does not always mean there is a serious liver problem. Sleep can be affected by many things, including stress, noise, temperature, and habits. But when the same pattern keeps repeating, especially together with fatigue, bloating, skin changes, or low energy, it is worth paying attention. The body often sends early signals long before tests show anything abnormal. The liver is one of the most hard-working organs in the body, and it keeps going even when it is under pressure. That is why the early signs are usually small and easy to ignore. Trouble sleeping at the same time every night may seem like a simple problem, but sometimes it is the body's way of asking for rest, balance, and less overload, so the liver can do its job properly.